We're going to be taking a look at the Ridstar Q50 today. As you can see, I had to cart the bike on the back of the van on the bike hauler. I could not fit it inside the van, and that is because it has these really tall forks here. Look at the amount of spacers they shoehorned in here to get those tall forks on there. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. Some people might like it, some people might want shorter forks, but it does interfere with the portability of this bike. But before I get it unloaded, I do just want to go over a few features that the bike comes with. We got this bright headlight, our tail light as well. We got a big 48 volt 20 amp hour battery, hydraulic disc brakes, and we got CST branded 20x4 fat tires on this bike as well. This bike also features a rear suspension, and we've got Canadian geese over here interrupting my audio. You go, guys. The bike comes with a couple extra goodies like this phone bag and a handlebar mounted phone holder with a USB charger built in. So those are some pretty nice features. I blew through this walk around because it looks like we've got a storm coming. So I'm going to get this bike unloaded and we're going to take it down the road and see what she can do. Here's another feature I like about this bike. It does have a keyed switch to turn it on. You got to turn the key and then hold the M button to power on. And then we've got our pedal assist up and down controls, and we got our headlight control and our horn button over here. I do hope this is a fast bike. Ooh, it's peppy. I do hope it's a fast bike because it looks like I am for sure racing a rainstorm. When I get out of this pedestrian area here, I'm going to test the bike's top speed, and I'm going to be testing its speedometer accuracy as well. Let's get that queued up now. Here we go. I'm just riding around in this area in pedal assist level 1. The bike's got some peppy takeoff for sure. I weigh 190, 195, and the bike weighs 88 pounds. It's got a steel tubular frame, and though the frame does seem to be a bit on the cheap side, it's got quite a few premium options slapped onto that frame. In pedal assist level 1, we are holding 11 miles per hour on the built-in speedometer and 10 miles per hour on true GPS. So I imagine the higher speed we get going, the more the speedometer is going to be, the less accurate the speedometer is going to be, I should say. All right, let's go up through our pedal assist levels. These hydraulic brakes are nice. Let's go up into level 2. Level 2 looks like it is capping out at, it says 17 on the built-in speedometer, 15 on GPS. Level 3 gets up there nice. Their claimed wattage on the motor is 2,000 watts, but we would have to know the amperage on the controller to know if we can actually hit that, which probably not. Level 4. Didn't quite hit it. Let's take another run at it. Yeah, it looks like the speedometer is about 2 miles to 2.5 miles per hour off in level 4. We're seeing 27.5 here and 25 here. In level 5, after I turn up here at the stop sign, we'll get our actual true top speed run in. Yeah, I said it before, but I'm really digging these brakes, and it's a comfortable riding bike too. The handlebars set up really high because of the tall forks and the spacers that they shoehorned in there, but it does make for a very, very comfortable ride. Anyway, our top speed on the built-in speedometer is saying 32.5, but the GPS was reading 27. We're gonna have to go out on the main road to get a real reading for this top speed run. Top speed through here is only 25. I doubt I'm going to break that by much, if I break it at all. We don't have any hills to climb on this route today, but there is a little minor hill going up this bridge as we cross it up here. All right, looks like I hit 28. And I'm catching traffic, so 28 is enough to run with the traffic in this neighborhood. Take it up here through town and see how it does stop sign to stop sign. Don't turn right, don't turn right, don't turn right. Don't turn right, don't turn right, don't turn right. Ugh. Well, this will be a good test to see how it does in real world slow town traffic. It's got more than enough for commuting around this area. Alright, I think we'll be able to get an actual real top speed run with it now, because I don't have any slow cars ahead of me anymore. I'm hitting 29 on GPS, 33 on the built-in speedometer. So that's where I'm going to call it. I really don't think I could have gotten much more out of it if we had really any longer run. Maybe I could have squeezed 30 out of it, but I think 29 for my weight is our real-world top speed use. Nothing to do now but put some range on it and see where our battery life's at. When I get to the beach, I'm going to do a little bit of off-roading. I am not liking the looks of those clouds. I'm going to go down into level 2 for this walking trail here. It's a bike trail, but a lot of pedestrians walk on this trail too. So I don't want to be that guy who ruins e-biking for everyone. Level 3 is holding a steady 20. That's really the kind of riding that I do on most of the trails that I ride, so that's plenty fast enough for me. Though, if I were riding in town like I was back there, I'd definitely be going level 5 the whole way. Oh, and I just felt a raindrop. Let's take it out on these big river rocks and see how it does. It does have that rear suspension. It's pretty good. I've got it really in too high of a level for this, though. Ugh. It does it. It's not like a trail bike for sure. Yeah, not my preferred vehicle for this kind of stuff. Did all right, though. It's better in the grass and on pavement. I'm feeling a few little raindrops. I'm hoping it's just like a little fake out psych. And I'm feeling a few more. Luckily, I'm getting to the place where there are a few shelters if I need to hunker down for a minute. The bike fits me about as well as a moped style bike can. No moped style bike really gives me a good pedal stroke. That's why I generally just ride them with the throttle and treat them like a little motorcycle, but comfort level wise, it's pretty good. The tall forks and the high handlebars gives me a good comfortable riding position, and the seat's got plenty of cushion too. All right, let's head out and do a little bit of off-roading here. I do want to get past this dip. It's probably really swampy out here today. It's been raining a lot lately. Let's go through there. It's doing it just fine. Is it a trail bike? Absolutely not. But the rear suspension does give you kind of the fun city zippy bike and the ability to run off-road a little bit when you need to. We don't rabbit. It handles really nice, but that's the thing. 20-inch moped bikes usually do handle really nice. I am going to take it across the sand out here, but I won't expect that this is going to be much of a sand test because it's been raining so much lately that the sand has just been packed down this year so bad. We're going to try it anyway. Yeah, the sand is all packed pretty tight here. So this is not much of a sand test, for sure. Yeah, the sand is like more like concrete than sand, so not much of a sand test. All right, with that, I'm gonna head back because I got 6 miles to get back and I'm feeling more and more raindrops, so can this thing outrun a thunderstorm? Let's find out. All right, my final thoughts on the Ridstar Q50, or is it Ridstar Q50? I know it's spelled Ridstar, but maybe it's a stylistic choice and it's actually supposed to be pronounced Ridstar. Let me know what you think, how it's supposed to be pronounced in the comments. That's engagement farming, kids. Anyway, my final thoughts on this bike is that it's a pretty cheap frame, but it's got a pretty decent amount of good components. Like the brakes are really good. I like the dual ring chain guard. I like the battery. I like the comfort level of it. Oh my goodness, it's really starting to come down now. So I'm gonna wrap up what I'm saying here, and overall that is that I like it. I think it's a good value for the price, though they did cheap out on some things to keep the price low. Anyway, I'm gonna hustle back to the beginning and let you know at the end of this ride where we are at for battery life. Oh my goodness, the rain is starting to come down now. I'm gonna speed back to the beginning of the ride. As soon as I get off this trail, I'm gonna go up into a much higher level. The weatherman said it was gonna rain at like 9 o'clock tonight. It's 6 o'clock. All right, the rain messed with my action camera and kept pausing at the last leg of that trip. We are at 11 miles. I rode it pretty hard. That's probably actually more like 12 miles because I've ridden this route quite a few times. But when I was giving it throttle out there, we were at about 60% battery life. But when I stopped, it came back up to 100%. 11 miles, I weigh 190, 195, the bike weighs 88, and I did ride it very hard there, especially in the end. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. All right, so technically it didn't beat all of the rain, but it did beat the worst of it.